And now, a little over 3 years later, Pearl Servat is the head of demand generation and brand marketing at the Verizon owned D2C Visible. And she's here to talk about how they're reaching, there you are, Pearl, and talking about how you're reaching top to bottom approach that you developed for market infiltration. Hey, Pearl.
Hey Lisa, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome.
Well, it's great, so great to see you. I'm reporting live from the beautiful Austin.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I wish I could be there with you.
Well, we miss you here. Thank you so much for inviting me to the event and for your continued support. I am very, very excited to be here and to represent the amazing Team Visible.
Well, I'm going to, with that said, I'm going to let you represent.
Thank you so much. So I am going to share my screen. Can you guys see this? Yes. So, by way of introduction, thank you guys for joining today. I am Pearl Servat and I lead demand gen and brand marketing at Visible. We are a 3-year-old Verizon company, and today I am here to share with you our strategic approach for targeted and market based marketing. Just to give you a little bit of background about Visible, we launched in 2018, so we're just a bit over 3 years old. We're all digital. What that means is that we have no physical stores, no strings attached, no annual bills. It's super easy to sign up for Visible. You do it through our app and website, and it takes a mere minutes for you to get unlimited everything powered by Verizon. The whole model is based around us being a hybrid carrier, marrying the two worlds between prepaid and postpaid, and bringing the best of both two worlds together as it relates again to inclusivity, accessibility, a really, really premium product that you can get at a very accessible price of only as low as $25 a month. And again, we're powered by Verizon, which, as you all know, is the top carrier and the top network in the country. So here is a little bit of a high level overview of some of the acknowledgement that we're really, really proud of and we've gotten received over the past few years. Last year, we were named by Fast Company to their most innovative in the world list. Adweek has called us out a few times as a challenger brand. And actually, just last year, they also named us as the best telecom brand in the US, which is a huge, huge, huge honor for our still young brand. You know, we've gotten accolades also from the likes of the top industry platform, TM Forum, CNET, The Verge, you name it. So these are all things that we're really, really proud of. But one of the things that I would say that we're most proud of is that the number one way that consumers hear about Visible and our brand is through word of mouth. And as you guys all know, it speaks volumes to one, the quality of the product and experience, and then the efforts that are married with that as it relates to our marketing approach as well. So, just wanted to talk to you, like I said, about our marketing approach when it comes to a really targeted top to bottom strategy for market-based marketing. You know, it used to be called infiltration marketing. We call it market heavy up. And essentially, we first launched this tactic in 2019 by doing a market heavy up in our home base, Denver. And we saw tremendous success as a result of that, and we wanted to apply the learnings and launch a new campaign actually in Austin. Our campaign here launched just last week, and we're seeing some really, really strong early results across the board. So, how did we get started in Denver? Again, we identified Denver a couple of years ago because it was our home base, and we did a lot of audience matching analysis, market research, consumer research, segmentation, and identified that it was a prime market for us to really sort of do a marketing heavy up in. It was a 360 campaign that really leaned into introducing the market and the consumer base and our prospects to the brand in sort of the very unique and witty, friendly, and welcoming Visible tone, voice, and approach. We did everything from out of home. You know, we had a number of placements in the Denver airport, throughout the city, freeways, heavy up on digital marketing. And one of the other things that we do is a lot of experiential marketing tactics. You know, as an all digital brand, it is still important for you to find ways and various tactics to ensure that the audience and the prospects that you're targeting are sort of coming together with the brand and sort of having an opportunity through various touch points to really feel the brand in tangible ways. And because we don't have physical stores, for us, that is through experiential marketing that has had really, really high return and ROI for us. So that campaign that we did in Denver, which you see in the left here, this was the social post, was we did a number of out of home placements where instead of saying unlimited messages, we said unlimited massages. And that was an intentional typo. As you guys can guess, we got called out by, you know, news outlets, reporters, passerbys, you know, tons and tons of UGC and word of mouth and digital and social buzz sort of came to life when people saw these out of home placements, and everyone was like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Is this meant to say massages or messages? But, you know, we're a transparent brand, and true to our word, we owned up to this mistake and hosted an event for unlimited massages. So it wasn't unlimited messages, it was unlimited massages. Got massive press across the country. So this one was almost like a local to national strategy, because we wanted the press and the word of mouth and the chatter around the brand to be national. And that's exactly what ended up happening with this with the stunt. And then we also did various events to, again, ensure that while we lean into the digital strategies first and foremost, we still want to give the consumer an opportunity to sort of interact with the brand in real life, but very much the visible way. So here are the results from the campaign that, again, we're incredibly proud of. The campaign impressions overall throughout the 10 to 12 week course of the campaign were close to over 230 million. Awareness and consideration, we immediately saw a 5-time plus lift for those two elements. And then today, which is the biggest measure of ROI for us, Denver actually remains in our top 3 subscribers market. So the whole sort of the whole goal, even though we all want like the immediate sort of results and ROI and impact, you really want the sustainability to be the payoff for you, right? So the heavy up is across the 10 to 12 weeks. But today, almost, you know, I would say over 2 years later, that was the goal from day one. Like, we want this campaign to continue to have the payoff. So we do, it's sort of like a sustained and post approach. We don't completely pull ourselves out of the market. We continue to maintain a drumbeat of activities that will allow the consumer to get to know the brand, consider the brand, and then also ultimately convert. So that's where we started. Enter Austin, which is where we are today. So why Austin? Once again, we did a lot of audience matching. We wanted to make sure that our segmentation and prospect matching was the right fit for the consumer base and community base in Austin. As you guys all know, this is a very, very hot tech hub, which for us means early adopters, tech enthusiasts, which is where Visible leans as well. The median age in Austin is 33, which again was the right fit for us. And then in addition to various demographic metrics, 55% of the community here are in the 25 to 44 range, which again was the right match for us. And this market over indexes within the Asian segment, which is also true for Visible. So it really felt like it was the right market and the right time and opportunity for us to enter and heavy up our marketing approach here in Austin. So just to give you guys an overview of our overarching strategy, you know, for a new brand that is just entering a new market, it's really, really important for us to be thoughtful about accelerating both awareness, consideration, and then conversions. So we intentionally made the decision to partner up with notable and known names within the Austin market who would help us carry the narrative of the brand and introduce our brand to their local, to their community and fan base and followers. So then the 4 pathways that we decided to enter into, one was sports. So we partnered up with the fan club of Austin FC. And, you know, another lane for us was food, and then music, where we partnered partnered up with the Black Pumas, and then also lifestyle. Merlin Tuttle, if you guys are not familiar, he's really, really well known and is a bat expert, which is really, really awesome. So you will see these folks throughout all of our marketing activities. For us, every channel for us has to speak the same language. The creative has to sort of work hand in hand together across all of our channels as well. So you will see the partners that we're working with across both out of home, digital advertising, content advertising, and all across the board. So it was really important to us, and we're really betting on the strategy to help accelerate awareness for the brand. So how are we reaching this market? This is very much a top to bottom approach for us. And what that means is that we're taking elements of our national BAU marketing strategies, bringing them to the Austin market, but then really redefining them and reshaping them so that we're speaking the language and that we're showing up in a meaningful, tangible, but also respectful way in this market. We did a lot of research around that. We had an informal advisory board of a number of folks who sort of guided us through designing this campaign. They all live in Austin. They all know the market really, really well. So we took various elements of the national plan and brought them here. As you guys see here, it leans heavily, for us, it always starts with digital and the digital channels, but from an omni standpoint, we then lean into the various levers across social, branded content and press, influencer marketing, CRM, and direct mail, which I know Sean was just talking about, experiential marketing, some out of home and some TV, to sort of create this element of a multi-touch approach for the one introducing the brand, but then also driving consideration and then conversions. Here is a visual mix of our marketing plan for this market. Once again, I will say this over and over. First and foremost, it always starts with digital for us. So that's what you see in the left there. Some of the language that you see, unlimited data for unlimited Austin FC streaming. So the language is really, really bespoke for this market. Some of the other language that we've leaned into that you see to the right is untraditional wireless for an untraditional city. So again, to sort of bring together the visible brand with the Austin community here and the positioning of the city and the market here as well. We're leaning into experiential once again. We are, the experiential activation for the market is a bull. It is pink/fuchsia, and it's a mobile bull that we're taking all around the city, especially within the ACL vicinity. And the tagline for the bull for this activation is, "Don't let your wireless plan take you for a ride." And you guys may or may not know who the title sponsor of ACL is, but we're intentionally showing up at that event to basically raise our hand and say, if you're looking for an easy, prime, premium, seamless experience, we should be the first choice for you. We're also partnering up with Austin FC. We're a marquee sponsor of the team, and we just are about to announce a marquee sponsorship with F1, with Formula One as well. So it's really a cohesive omni-channel campaign where all the channels speak the same language, and they sort of carry they serve as a supplement strategy for each other to ensure that you're really getting to know our brand at all of these touch points. We also launched a TV campaign that went live last week. It's 17% of our local media mix. And it launched from a national standpoint, but then we also brought it here for a spot strategy, which means that it's really, really targeted and strategic to ensure that it works well with the other channels that we have here in the market as well. And here we are, we're live. So I wanted to share with you some of the examples of out of home. These are some of the bike stations that have gone live in the market. Our out of home also has gone live. And then what you see on the top right there, as a part of our sponsorship with Austin FC, I've heard they have a 20,000 plus wait list for each game. So we partnered up, there's a high demand. So we partnered up with them on a ticket giveaway, which we've also seen, as you can imagine, engagement for the social activation has been through the roof. And then the objectives for the campaign, first and foremost, we wanted to take the learnings from Denver and apply them to the Austin market. So, you know, we always say, what should we stop? What should we start? What should we reshape? So we really took a deep look at the tactics that were implemented in Denver and brought those learnings to our approach and design for Austin. Once again, we wanted to leverage familiar faces to help us carry the narrative of the brand and introduce the brand to this prime market. And from a conversion standpoint, we're looking into a 4x increase in conversion. And then we also want to increase awareness and consideration by over 50% in the market. So we have very ambitious goals, but we feel really, really good about where we stand. Even, you know, we're just about 10 days into the campaign, but the early data that we've seen tells us that we're positioned in a really healthy place. But ultimately, what you want is that long-term payoff that I mentioned earlier. While we're doing the heavy up now over the next 12 weeks, you want the ROI to be for the long term. We are planning a post approach to have a drumbeat of presence in this market once the heavy up is over, because just like Denver, we ultimately want Austin to be a top market for the brand as well. So that's it. Just wanted to share our approach with you guys. And I love that the timing of the brand of this event worked perfectly with the timing of the launch of the campaign as well. And I hope that you guys will get to see us in real life out and about. Thank you so much.
That's great, Pearl. Thank you. That was so, I mean, the way, I think it's great that you found so much success in Denver, but we're able to then also now bring it to Austin. I'm curious though, when you're using these familiar faces, are you integrating them? Are you getting into their social? How much is it just in a live situation where people can go see them, or how else are you leveraging them?
Great question. So we're leveraging them throughout the whole omni-channel system of the campaign, right? So you'll see them in our out-of-home advertising, Lisa. You'll see them in our digital placements. With some of them, we've also worked out a really thoughtful social partnership approach for social content as well. So it's really, when we say omni-channel, we mean it even when it comes to how we approach the talent partnerships for the brand. And then Taylor on our team, who's here today, I want to give her a shout out because she's a complete superstar. Beyond these sort of like marquee partnerships with the talent that we're working with, who are featured as a part of the campaign, there's an extended strategy with local influencers for a storytelling approach, a long form content approach, because again, you want it to extend within all of your channels so that all of them work hand in hand together, tell the same narrative, and educate the consumers in the same way.
Right. And I know Steve has a question. Is he still on? Here we are.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Pearl. So, hi. How you doing? Good to see you
Good.
again.
How are you?
So the be careful of those bats down there. I have a thing for the bats.
He's so cool, by the way.
I wanted to talk about some of the other media that that this extends into and how this impacts as you go into local markets. What are you doing on the media side in the local markets, especially say things in video? Are you starting to use things like streaming video on a localized basis to emphasize this stuff and maybe bring some of those familiar faces, those familiar local faces actually to those local audiences?
So we are using a local and targeted approach for digital media as well, for OLT and OTT, and we're also actually doing some custom partnerships as well. So that's all for digital. We lean very, both we retargeting, programmatic, OLV, heavy up on video, custom partnerships. That is always going to be the quote unquote bread and butter of the brand, because we're all digital and that's where we meet you, right? Mm-hmm. But from an omni-channel standpoint, we are also leaning into tactics like direct mail, where we're targeting the consumers here in Austin through different rounds of direct mail, where we hit them first with the introduction of the brand, and then we introduce you to the value prop and sort of like the top POCs that would work really well for us. And then the third round is the promo offer that we currently have in the market, right? So it goes through that cycle of introduction, consideration, and then conversion, right? But then we're also doing CRM, where we are targeting the prospects here in the market through various rounds of CRM as well, right? Because all of your channels, almost the way that we approach it is that it's a campaign within a campaign for each of the channels, right?
Mhm.
As far as what the cycles are, how many times we're targeting them, what the language and the messaging is, what the creative is. So yes, to all of the above. With the talent that we're working with, most of those are for static content and then social. And then with the influencers, the local influencers that we've partnered up with, that's a video strategy that we're leaning into.
Does the drop, since we've been hearing a lot all today so far about those physical tangibles, everything from the pack-in partnerships that Sean talked about to the direct mail that I keep hearing so many of you D2Cs talk about. It's remarkable watching this digital native group of brands rediscovering some of the oldest channels. So on a local basis, does that tangible direct mail have a special impact when you are able to make local references with it?
So it remains to be seen, right? But we feel very optimistic and hopeful because direct mail has worked for us really well from a national standpoint. National meaning you're still targeting various markets, but they're not your heavy ups. For us, though, it all goes back to having something that's physical and tangible that the consumer can interact with and have in front of them, right? It's all about digital, and I'll say this over and over, but having an omnipresence is really critical to our success and to having a sustainable, long-term, healthy approach, right? So even though, to your point, it is true that direct mail is one of the oldest marketing sort of levers, but for us, it's all about how do we do it the visible way? What's our creative and how is it unique to us? What's the voice and how is it unique to us? What's the messaging and how is it unique to us? So those are the things that we really look at. And then, we also look at other things like segmentation and retargeting with direct mail and all of those as well. But I think it's more about, sometimes I would say it's less about the what, because you do need all of those channels, but more about the how. Like, how is your approach unique to you and who and what you are as a brand?
Thanks. I'm out. I'm going to leave it back over to you, Lisa.
Actually, Steve, you're going to be coming right back in. So that was great, though, Pearl. Always you give like such detailed information in terms of how people can actually step by step try to do what you're doing. So really, and I'm so happy you're in Austin and it worked out perfectly for you in terms of timing.
It did work out perfectly. And thank you, Lisa and team, for your continued support. You guys have been so good to us from day one. And we are very, very grateful for the ongoing support. This campaign means the world to us. It is truly a labor of love that was developed within, I want to say, 8 weeks max. But we have a team of superstar strategists and doers and implementers. We work really well together and we're so happy and excited to see it come to life.
Well, we are excited, and everyone who's in Austin can be looking for the bull.
Yes, please look for the bull and share the photos on social and tag us.
Sounds good. Well, enjoy the rest of your time in Austin, Pearl. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye. And Steve back on, and John as well.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a great morning.
That was
it was, and it's nice to see people still trying to make things happen amidst this slow sort of return to life. I'm sitting here in my home actually in Austin, and I can hear, I'm just right behind, pretty close to the park where they do the Austin City Limits Festival, and I can hear their sound check happening. So the music's happening whether people like it or not, and so it's great that Visible will be there and making the rounds for
the last time we were there, John, wasn't it Guns N' Roses that we went?
That's right. That's right.
Everybody piled into a Guns N' Roses concert.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I just wanted to give a shout out just quickly here to a couple of key players down here in Austin,